Welcome to the GFY Podcast, a podcast by healthcare professionals providing insight on how to navigate your health so you can go fix yourself. The GFY Podcast is hosted by Mike Bruno, a chiropractor and athletic trainer, and me, Michael Stant, an athletic trainer certified strength conditioning specialist. Although we are healthcare providers, we are not your healthcare provider. We will discuss general health interventions in this podcast, but you should not take that as health advice that works in every situation. Before doing anything on your own or making any lifestyle changes, please consult with your own physician. This podcast and views from this podcast are separate from our full-time jobs and our own opinions. If you're enjoying the GFY podcast, please leave us a review on your listening platform and or subscribe to our podcast at YouTube. Links to our show can be found in the show notes on any platform that you're listening to. Today, we got, as Bruno called him, the man, the myth, the legend, Paul. I'm not going to attempt the last name because it's a feature every time. Perua.
Yeah.
If Mikey has an opportunity to ruin your last name, he will.
Everyone does. That's right.
What
That
if
was
we
the most-
butcher it as? Caron?
Yeah, Caron.
Yeah.
Caron? Paul Caron.
All Caron. Not great.
Oh, man. Paul, tell us about yourself, dude.
I would just like to say thank you. And that was definitely the most official intro that I have been a part of. So that was pretty awesome. Mike, when you've got
I
the full,
love that he does it live. He easily could record it. He just refused.
I could record it and do it. It's like, it adds about 30 seconds of editing on the post side of it. I just don't want to do that.
and it gets me really excited. Yeah. My name is Paul Caron, Dr. Paul Caron. I'm a rehab chiropractor, much like Mr. Bruno here. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. And as much as I'm a rehab chiropractor, I probably only adjust like 5 to 10% of the people I see. So I work a lot with active individuals. We do a lot of soft tissue work, and most of our sessions are just delta movements and trying to get them to think differently and move better, honestly. So I've got a clinic down here. We're doing some cool virtual stuff. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, yeah. So, Paul, I know take us back to when you went to school, because I know you have some cool different facts that the typical person doesn't take. When you were going through chiropractic school, A, what brought you to the chiropractic school that you chose? And B, how did you end up in that rehab sector versus the traditional methods?
Yeah, I actually was going to try to go to med school. I was in pre-med. That was the whole plan. I shadowed 12 different physicians during that time. And I asked them all the same question of would you do this again, as a career? And 0 out of 12 said yes. So, and these are the best surgeons and best surgeons in the DC area, the best docs. One was my neighbor. He's great, really enjoyed them, but they must not have enjoyed their life. So I kind of switched paths there. I was a sous chef for a while. I painted stuff for a while. I was a club sport director, and then I was the head coach of rugby, all in a short amount of time. But then I got accepted to go to Life University on a rugby scholarship, believe it or not. So I was a coach player coaching at Life. And Life University, for those who don't know the chiropractic world, is the most philosophical driven school there is.
Yeah.
What do you mean by philosophical?
And the chiropractic world, philosophical means if I adjust this, then the body will heal itself, which the body's constantly healing itself in a way, but they would take it to the next level, I think, of if I adjust all the right things, your cold would probably feel better. And maybe that's true. I don't know. But I was definitely on the other side of the spectrum in school, because I was coaching and playing rugby, which was very, very much physical. And during that time, I actually got a master's in sport health science. I got my CSCS, so it's a certified, strength and conditioning specialist. So I kind of did the opposite of the strict chiropractors, so to speak.
Yeah. Was there an outlet for you there? Or did you have to pave your own way? Were there other people doing what you wanted to do?
There's a little crew of us that all seem to be in athletics, which I think seemed to help. Weirdly, Life University has one of the best rugby teams in the country. So we actually got to win a national championship at the D1 level, which was awesome. And then the undergrad portion of this school is almost all athletes. So there was an awesome program. We got to work with athletes all the time. That was a major thing. It's a big athletic trainer, hub. So we got that exposure a bunch, but we were definitely the minorities.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So when you graduated, getting exposure to a bunch of different places, did you go directly into working for yourself, or did you have a job prior?
No, this is kind of funny. So my mentor is an awesome, Dr. Ashley Lincoln. She was really great. She has the same mindset, I think, as all three of us. But I actually had to leave there, and I did a 4 or 5 month stint at the Joint, which, for those who don't know, the Joint is adjust as many humans as possible in the hour, and then go from there. So I would spend 5 to 10 minutes max per person.
What's your record? What's your record adjustments?
72.
Oh,
Oh,
one day.
no. So, in one, yeah, I guess in one working day was 72. Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
That's crazy. Dude, people, there's one by me. People have like tags on their keys, like basically like a punch card that's like, hey, you get 20 adjustment, whatever you sign up for, 20 adjustments a month. Like you basically can go in and like not know anyone's name or what they're dealing with and just go beep beep and you get the same. They call it the flying seven, right? That's the right term?
You close your eyes and go, they tell you like the process is to go in, to scan and go face down and just wait for the doc to do that. And then they'll just adjust you. And you could not even see the doc by the time you leave, like face down.
You see them face to face.
See them face. I mean, I spend a little more time with them, but yeah.
Right, you do what you can in that environment, right? Holy shit.
Pretty
So yeah, so that was your, and like I always say that there's a time and place for every type of treatment. So some people who have nothing going on, it's almost like a party trick. They like the crack. Like it's kind of why that exists. The problem that I see is when someone goes there thinking they're going to get the same value that something like you and me would provide, right? So where it's like a whole hour, it's rehab, it's manual therapy and all that. So talk to us about the transition from there, from the Joint, 75 people a day, to what you're doing now, like one-on-one for a whole hour.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you guys talk about this a lot, is like, what's the lasting effect? Like me just in your back, it's not going to change much in your life. And if you don't change, nothing's going to change. So I really, really do try to harp on that, working with people, that you're going to have to just change your life in some form or fashion, or else it's not worth coming.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paul has the ability to be super like kind, caring, and blunt at the same time.
Yeah. So
It's awesome. Like
it's like
I'm either a total dick and it's like I hurt someone's feelings, or I'm like super nice and like almost roll over. He's like perfect mix of the two. It's like it's probably not worth your money to be here if you're not gonna like change. Like, see, even sounds better coming from him. Like, anyway.
yeah. Do you feel like that's an easier conversation to have when like you're in your own practice and you got people paying you money up front, where like when you're in like the I don't know what you call it, the box practices or whatever, the factories, it's just like, oh well, but I have to make sure this person keeps coming back, so I'm just gonna give them whatever they ask for.
Whatever they want. Right.
Sure.
And yeah, exactly. That was the problem. And it was a big sales push. Like our bosses would just be like, we need these people to come in. And I was like, I don't think these people need to come in, or this is definitely not what they need. So that was a tough situation, which was helpful, because then they got me out of there sooner and I got to do this, which is really, really awesome. And it's necessary, I think. So if it's not necessary for that person, they're going to be better off somewhere. Like, okay, a little rugby metaphor here. I have a bunch of players. Usually it was more balancing egos than anything. Like, I got to work with super talented athletes. Certain athletes were like, I'm not playing this position because it's whatever, less cool or less, famous of a position. I want to play this position. And at the end of the day, it's like, while you have to do what's best for the team, like if it's better for them, like them specifically, they'll probably do better in that role. And so you have to have that conversation with them. And it's the same thing with these clients or patients. It's like, I don't even think you do well here. Like, I think you should go get an adjustment 3 times a week and like, you'll feel better and that's good for you. But I'm working with this certain person and they're going to be really successful here. If that's not that person, I don't even want to work with them.
Hell yeah. Talk to us about give us the molds, like what that person looks like, and then how do you go about finding said person?
Yeah, luckily nowadays I don't have to do any sort of marketing because people have just been talking to each other, which is great. But that person is an active, probably above the age of 40. They have been to a chiropractor, a PT, and an ortho, not or. So they have done their homework of like trying to get better and things haven't worked. Um, they are trying to get back to something, or they have some sort of drive within themselves. I am not working with someone who just wants to feel better. Like that's just not me. Um, and so these people, like at the end of the day, I get to write something on the board, and if I point at that, they're like, yeah, that's definitely what I want. So if they haven't been to all three of those people, they're not super active, and they're not like really driven, then that's probably not the right fit.
Yeah. So go ahead.
No, you're good. I was like, yeah. How often do you actually turn people away then? Like, if you're looking for that stuff, like, is it quite often then?
It's like gotten less soft. Like by the time people show up now in the office, they're like, oh, this guy's this, like, I'm going to be in the wrong office to begin with. And like, we had a little bit of a process that kind of makes sure that doesn't happen anymore. But sometimes, like last month was a big one of that, of like people being ready to like jump on and get healthy and do stuff. And like, just by talking to them, you can tell if that's real. So they say all the things, but then if you ask them to do like a certain thing before they come in, and that hasn't happened, then it's not really their first priority. I totally get people are busy, but priorities need to be in favor of the thing I'm doing, because you're about to invest a good amount of money and time, and I'm going to have to spend time with you. So if this is not the thing for you, let's switch the priorities around, or you can go find something that's better suited for that value. So like how did I used to find those people? I used to go to like every type of gym possible. I used to work out of a CrossFit gym. This is currently a beautiful gym right next to that cross. So I am in the world of people trying to improve stuff through physical health. And then it's a vetting process, more for me than them. Like,
Yeah,
but
you have
like,
to-
said, yeah, like I'm pretty aggressive, kindly, apparently, when the vetting process is happening, because I don't want to spend time with, are we allowed to swear on here?
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I checked the box, explicit content. Don't
Oh,
worry.
nice. I don't want to spend time with a fucking asshole for next 18 hours of their, whatever, their life. So, that's more for me. And if I'm not happy, then my life is going to not be so great. And I want to be pretty happy all the time so that I can give you a better product.
1000%. So when people have seen ortho, PT, and Cairo, usually like all three, they've been through the ringer, so to speak. And you're having a conversation through this vetting process where you've done all that. Here's where the gaps might have been, or here's where that might not have worked for you. Here's what makes us different. Here's how we are going to get you results. How do you go about that conversation to help them clearly like and fully understand, like, yes, this is different, and yes, it's worth me paying a bunch of money for?
I talk to them as if they're super intelligent, which might be the opposite to what most people do. Everyone's like, oh, your marketing, your Instagram has to be like a third grade reading level. And I don't think people want that, or like at least the people I'm working with, they're like, no, I've been to 3 different people. I have done the research on Instagram. Like they want to be talked to like an adult.
Yeah.
And a smart one, because everyone's pretty smart that comes in here, like they know what's going on. They're more intuitive about their body than anyone else that's seen them, including me. And so you just have to listen to them and tell them as much info as I think I know about them as possible. They need to trust that you know what you're doing, and they also need to trust that you listen to them. So like, if you don't do those things, you could be the world's best clinician and they're not going to care. But yeah, these people are smart. Like you need to prove to them that you know what's going to work, and I need to know that it's going to work. So that's part of the process. Like if I don't think I'm going to help you, I also tell you that. Most of the time, by the way, when I tell people like I'm not sure, I don't know if this is going to work, they're like, hell yeah, this is my guy. And then that's like the selling part. Like I actually don't know. I'm honest with them, and they appreciate that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's very contrary. It's one of those things where everyone's going right, you just go left. Everyone says simple, like make it as easy to understand as possible. That attains the masses, but you're not trying to talk to the masses. You're trying to talk to a very narrow group of people.
Yeah, imagine going to your doctor and they're like, you're sick, you need to take these pills. And you're like, okay.
What?
Yeah, to everyone. Right. And like I'm not to pick on, the pills or whatever. My sister's a pharmacist, we do great conversations. But yeah, it's like, well, why do I need to take that? And what's going to happen when I do? And like, does that affect anything else? And like, is there any other options? Can I do anything else? What else could I fix before I take these? And is this the right pill? How many of these do I take? Like, you should be asking all those questions. Right. And if you're not asking those questions, you probably aren't invested as much. And what happens?
Yeah, we honestly need to make a little script for when you go to any healthcare provider, because we've talked about that so much, where it's like, if you go in and you don't ask the questions, it's going to be a 5-minute appointment, you're out, and you have a prescription in that scenario, or it's just like you get nowhere. It's like, all right, we'll get an MRI and go from there without ever checking. Like, maybe we start some rehab first.
I love this story. This happened to me this year or last year. I went to my primary care, and the medical assistant who saw me before the doctor was like, "Hey, like, do you smoke or do drugs?" And I was like, "I have the occasional cigar at a wedding." And she's like, "Okay, blah, blah, blah." Doctor comes in. She's like, "So how many years have you been a smoker?" I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 relax, relax." So like that was like a perfect example of me, like, of that whole scenario, like in my specific situation, is like, no one was really listening to me, and I didn't, ask the further questions, or like, why is that an important question? Like, what do you mean? And we didn't get any clarity there. So it got misinterpreted a lot.
I love that. And not to harp on the system too much, but like, I don't know how much more specific they would have been able to be anyways. Right. It's more like, this will help 75% of people. We're going to do that anyways. We just need to make sure we don't hurt you.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you want some good practice, just like asking people why over again, talk to high schoolers. Because it is crazy how long it takes to like get an actual story of what happened, or like what what they're trying to do it. Like, because I deal with high schoolers pretty regularly. Sometimes they're just playing a sport because it's like, well, my friends are in it, that's all I want to do. It's funny how, because I was with collegiate athletes, and like, you kind of already knew what they wanted to do, but with the high school kids, it's just like, wow, I really have to dig some info out of you.
Wow. Yeah, I actually I'm working with a 16-year-old right now, rugby guy who broke his leg. He's pretty driven and he likes rugby. He tried playing rugby like 3 weeks after he broke his leg. So like, that's that kind of guy. Yeah. But then I worked with like a 14-year-old, and that was not my demographic.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. They just want to do an exercise because they thought they looked silly and people might see them. And you were in the room. Like, I don't know who was going to see them, but
like, it was like a private thing.
Crazy. Yeah, crazy. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Good luck with
that. Yes.
Paul, to switch gears on you a little bit. So for everyone listening, like, me and Paul met through a business group, and something that I've seen, and we had, regular calls me and him would set up, and we've had like our first 5 minutes of the call would be like, "Hey, what's going well, blah, blah, blah." And he would hit me with the most like ridiculous, like, "Oh, like, today's going really well. Like, like, I did this amazing thing, and it's like, everything's awesome." And I'm like, this kid is just putting in the work. He's doing like 100 different things at once. And he's like, "Yeah, speak things out loud. I'd put my head down, do the work, and good things happen." So manifestation in a word, right? Which I don't think we talk about the mental side as much on here. So using that kind of segue right now, give me your best Tony Robbins spiel for everyone listening.
Oh man, I've been to a Tony Robbins event. Have I told you that? It was in Jersey. It was not everybody eat that. Yeah. I think that is what you've described, manifestation in the woo-woo world. It's funny because the woo-woo world for me came all from business books, and you're like, wait, that doesn't make sense. And then the godfather of manifestation books is Think and Grow Rich. It's like written in 1940. I'm sure you guys have heard about that, but that's the OG manifestation guide. And it's funny because it's just this business dude of like, you need to write the thing down. You need to say it a bunch. You need to believe it actually happens. And then you actually need to take action, which is the big part everyone misses, by the way. You have to take like legitimate action towards that thing and be, concerned with what you're doing. As far as like all what Bruno said, that was very kind. But I do think positivity and taking action is undeniably successful.
Mm.
Like the people if we could bring it back to the people we work with, how many times have you guys had to work with like Eeyore, who comes in and is like, I don't, this isn't going to work. Like, I'm pretty upset with what's going on. I've tried everything. Like, this is bad. Well, it is bad and it isn't going to work. You should probably go to someone else. Like, I don't want to deal with that, man. But
Yeah.
like, you have to be positive and you have to know it's going to work, or else it literally, you can, again, best clinician in the world, Eeyore comes in, Eeyore's leaving injured, man. There's no chance. And so like this positive, desirable action of like manifestation has to be present in my client and in me. Like, people come in, they're like, how's your day going? Every day is pretty awesome. And I really do mean that. Like, why would a day be bad? I can't fathom that.
It would have to be really bad.
It'd have to be really bad. And then even then, it's okay to say like, it's a pretty tough day today, but like, I've had a pretty good week.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think manifestation is real, and the fact that if you're trying to do the thing that you want to do and you give a shit about the thing that you do, it will probably happen. Oh, really good segue for this.
Yeah.
I'm just spewing right now. Really good segue. I have a newsletter every Tuesday, Top of Mind Tuesday, shout out. Don't worry about subscribing. But I wrote about Breezy Johnson, and everyone's talking about Lindsey Vonn, how amazing it was that, she came back from ACL and then smashed it again a day later, which she's done so many times, which is really impressive. I think she's impressive. But Breezy, she won the downhill ski, I believe. She got injured 4 years and like 2 months ago, meaning she missed her opportunity for the Olympics last Olympics. And so the crazy part of that is that she worked for 4 years. You hear it all the time, like they work so hard. But if you actually process that, she worked for 4 years to achieve something. Now, like, if any of us were like to say like, hey, I need you to do this, and you're like, oh, I can't do it. Like, how long did you try to do that? Like, did you try really hard? Did you try for 4 years to do that thing?
Right.
You'd probably succeed. You know what I mean? And like, she had to stay positive for 4 years and do the thing every day. And then she got there and like she won, which I don't think she cares about. But like, I think Hormozy, another business dude, he's always like, if you work really hard at something for like 30 days, like you try really hard and you still can't fix it, then maybe you can ask for help. But like before then, just try really hard for 30 days. And I don't think anyone does that in our era of like fast fixes anymore.
100%.
Yeah, no, I love that. No, it's funny. My little sister talking about fast fixes. She's been asking me all the time. I know she probably doesn't listen to this, so. But yeah.
There's a problem. She got to listen.
Exactly. She needs to learn how to go fix herself. But she's like started getting into like more working out again and whatnot. Has been asking me for advice and was like, hey, I went and talked to a personal trainer. They told me I need to work out like lifting 4 days a week plus my other stuff. And I was like, you haven't even consistently lifted for 2 days a week yet. Like, how about you start there first and see if you can actually like that is kind of the same concept of like, you haven't actually done anything yet. So how about you do that?
Yeah. I'm really bad at finding stuff in the house, like my glasses or like, the fruit bowl. And Sam, she's that wonderful human we were talking about earlier. She's like, have you looked yet? Like, instead of asking like, I can't find, like, where are my glasses? Like, have you even tried looking?
Yeah.
Like, maybe we do that. So
That's
I get it. Imagine if I spent 4 years looking for my glasses, I'd probably find them. Yeah. I'd definitely
Yeah.
find them. Yeah.
I love that analogy. So it's like in like the world with your clients, are you on the front end, like you recognize the Eeyore and you're like, like this is not going to be for you? Or is it like when the Eeyore comes in, he's saying, like, hey, this is like, he says this is what he wants. It's like, okay, you give him an opportunity to prove it. And then how much of what we just talked about, where like taking action and all that, how much of your clients already have that built into them? And then you just give them like the things they have to do to take action on. And then that kind of takes care of itself. Or you're actually teaching them the skill of being able to take action, build a plan, follow a plan, things like that.
Yeah, those were really good questions. I think the Eeyores sort themselves out, and meaning like as Bruno said, I'm pretty blunt. and sometimes kind. With them, I'm really blunt.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be extra blunt and then see if they fight back a little bit. So that's like the first good sign of like, oh, they actually do kind of want this. And then with that, our process is like a call, a free consult, and then a paid eval before we decide on like, you're sticking with me and we're doing this.
Yep.
And so they have 3 opportunities to show like genuine excitement or vigor. If there's no vigor involved, then I say like, hey, I have the name of like this great, person. I think you should go check them out. Or I'm like, hey, really think you should try these 3 exercises, and then text me. Like, I want you to text me. And like, if they're not fit for that, they won't text me. But some people are like, I've done them every day. I'm feeling this or that. And like, can we please move forward? And so that takes care of that.
Yeah.
And then to answer your other question, like, how many people do I have to like, give a kick in the ass to? Like 10%. And not to like speak too much on the business side, but like, this is a larger investment. So
Yeah.
for people to pay whatever they're going to pay for this, why would you, throw that away? And
Yeah, like waste your money.
yeah. So some people just like are nervous or need some extra encouragement. Some people I have to like put a leash on and like slow down. And as you guys know, I'm sure it's the same with all the athletes and people you work with. But most of the time they listen and they do the thing. So yeah, I find it's just, finding the right person, which every business in the world could say that.
Yeah. 90% of it is like the person that comes in, there's a mold or a checklist, and it's like, hey, they have this, they have this, they have this, they'll succeed here.
Yeah, for sure. And I've been talking about these 3 words a lot, which I never thought, like, I always tried to like make a motto for AOM. The name of my business, by the way, is The Art of Movement. But I'm always like, yeah, like maybe we can be this. But recently I've settled on intention. So they have to be intentional. They have to be consistent. That's self-explanatory. And then curious, and then like some, honorable mentions are positive, like, and hopeful. So that's those guys they need to be positive. We've talked about that. But if they're intentional with their work, and if they're consistent with that, and they're curious about why they're doing things, or curious in general, then those people are like highly successful.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Sweet. Hey, Paul, what you got next? So you're doing all this stuff right now. What's next for you?
Rolling out the red carpet, huh? The big thing we just released 2 days ago is AOM Live. So AOM Live is a virtual live call. It's a group call. You get to talk to me every week if you'd like and ask questions. But the big thing is we have 5 programs. So there's one for your knee, your foot and ankle, your hip, your low back and core, and then your neck and shoulder. So there's every major pain point that people come to see me with. I wanted to give a accessible virtual option for people who aren't quite bad enough to come into care, and they've been dealing with like the same nagging stuff, that like gray area of like, it hurts, but it's not bad enough to go see Dr. Bruno. So let's give them something they can do at home and then make a community out of it. So we're pushing that, and we're really excited about that. And we worked really hard on it too. It took us a year, and it looks really effing good. Maybe I shouldn't curse when I'm promoting my product,
Well, don't worry. I'll cut it out.
Yeah, nice. It looks really flipping good. Pretty.
Love that. Paul, I don't know if you're prepared for this, but what we usually ask our guests to do is give us the best go fix yourself to wrap us up. So give it your best shot, buddy.
Why don't you go fix yourself?